Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. So today's the first day you guys are going to be working with groups. My number one suggestion is that you try to meet at the time our class is supposed to be meeting and FaceTime or just go on Google Chat so that you can actually complete the lesson together. If it's not possible for all group mates to be there at the same time, you can still divide and conquer, maybe just the first to log in, first come, first serve on the different roles that you can pick, and upload your row or upload whatever it is you were supposed to complete as soon as you're finished so that all group mates can have it complete.
We're deciding, don't.
And George, you need to give serious consideration to getting a life.
Oh my god. A moment of silence, everyone.
All right, everybody, we're going to get started here on page 26 with the sick man of Europe. That was the nickname for the Ottoman Empire upon its collapse. As we discussed last unit, during the 1800s, it began its decline because of its inability to industrialize, and most importantly, because of nationalism that pulled different groups apart throughout the 1800s. Read and annotate page 26, and then go to page 27. Again, pause the video whenever you need to. So nationalism in the Middle East following World War I really is best understood in the context of the mandate system. The mandate system, as is indicated by this map to the right, was a system by which members of the League of Nations pledged to oversee colonies that were transferred mainly from Axis powers to other countries because of the Treaty of Versailles and subsequent decision-making in the 1920s and 30s. It included these territories in the Middle East that you'll be discussing today, but there were also some African colonies that were transferred from the German or Italian colonial empires that were also overseen as part of this mandate system. Read and answer the questions down at the bottom of page 27, and then go ahead to page 28. All right, on page 28, each group mate is going to take a different independence movement, fill out your row, and share it with the rest of your group mates. Then you'll pick two to compare down at the bottom of the page. All right, I will be reading that comparative thesis, so please make sure it's meaty. On page 29 and 30, there are two videos you can choose from to take notes with on page 29 and 30, along with the timeline. The one from Vox includes some more footage from like news coverage of conflicts on the Gaza Strip and in the West Bank, whereas the crash course video is just overall a little more entertaining. So watch and take some notes. On page 31, there's a separate directions video that you'll watch with your group just to make sure that you're using the documents appropriately to complete the activity. On page 33, there are 3 videos listed in the assignment directions. You'll watch those 3 videos in order to fill out the table on page 33. If you are interested in the US-Iran crisis that was in the news this January, there's an organization, this unit will use a lot of materials that come from the Choices program at Brown University. The ones on decolonization in Africa, I was actually able to contribute to a couple summers ago. And they came out with this just last month. There's a whole bunch of different sources about the Trump administration's policy toward Iran, the different agreements that had been made in the past, and basically how the crisis unfolded at the beginning of this year, 2020. In the spirit of distance learning, the question for your parents today is about the first time they remember using technology in school or for work. The first time I remember, it was not that old. It was in grade school, like toward the end, like 4th or 5th grade. And we had this new computer class, and we went in to like do some math problems on the computer, but we had these headphones that like felt like they were gonna smush your brain out of your nose. Like it was torture. And I hated computer class. I didn't ever want to go when it was time every Thursday because I was really concerned for my personal safety. But after that, we had like 2 computer labs in my high school. And probably once a month you would have a class that took you down to the computer lab and you would get to use, I mean, they still at that time had the glass screens and all. And usually kids would have one computer at home. Like we still had desktops at the time. So if you needed to type up an essay, I would like read the essay I had written out to my dad. He would type it on the computer and then print it out and I would bring it to school. So it's interesting. Ask your parents if they remember the first time they had to use computers for school or for work. It may be much earlier for some than others, but could be interesting.